Freedom of thought, conscience, and religion is a fundamental human right. But in recent times, it has faced significant challenges worldwide. The COVID-19 pandemic, geopolitical conflicts, economic crises, and the rise of autocrats have diverted attention and resources away from addressing violations of this fundamental human right. Religious minorities have been particularly vulnerable, facing discrimination, persecution, and violence with little international response. The 2023 edition of the Religious Freedom Report explores the two-year period between January 2021 and December 2022, a time dominated by significant global events. This report, conducted by Aid to the Church in Need, analyzes violations of freedom of religion and belief according to a sliding scale of severity. The research reveals that in 61 countries, where 4.9 billion people live, discrimination and persecution against religious minorities are apparent, with the fundamental right to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion under pressure or curtailed through new laws. The report identifies 28 countries as suffering persecution, half of which are in Africa, where religious minorities face atrocities, repression, surveillance, electoral obstacles, and attacks from both state and non-state actors. Shockingly, citizens are persecuted or even murdered by their own governments, often with little or no response from the international community. Autocrats, including authoritarian governments, Islamist extremists, ethno-religious nationalists, and organized criminal groups, are the driving force behind the worst violations of religious freedom. These persecutors seek to eliminate the authority held by undesired religious communities. The repeated violent attacks force religious minorities to immigrate, reducing a faith group to the point where its long-term survival is in doubt. In the discrimination category, 33 countries demonstrate deteriorating religious freedom conditions. Here, new anti-conversion laws have been introduced and existing laws strengthened, which carry fines and prison penalties to both the convert and the spiritual guide. In the Middle East, punishment for apostasy can go as far as the death penalty. In the education system, reports in Asia revealed that increasingly textbooks have been revised in favor of the majoritarian religion, eliminating the historical contribution of religious minorities. The under observation category indicates countries where religious freedom is gradually eroding, with incidents of intolerance, discrimination, and even persecution. 8 new countries were added to this category, which among others include Guinea-Bissau, Benin, and Indonesia. Here, attacks on religious sites and intimidation of religious communities have been justified under the guise of progressive social causes. The rise of digital technology and social media platforms has presented new challenges for religious freedom. Online platforms have become breeding grounds for hate speech, incitement of violence, and targeting of religious minorities. Extremist groups and individuals exploit these platforms to recruit followers, spread radical ideologies, and coordinate attacks on religious communities. The fundamental right to religious freedom is under threat as never before. The ability to exercise this right, to bear witness in words and deeds to freedom of thought, conscience, and religion, is the hallmark of any truly free and just society. The opposite, the process of silencing or marginalizing those bearing witness to conscience and religious beliefs, is the antecedent for more serious persecution. Don't close your eyes to religious persecution.